Hey guys, welcome to Crypto Mining Insider. I hope everyone is having a great time during this holiday season. Happy holidays to everyone. In the last T-Rex video I covered LHR overclocking, and the results were incredible to say the least. We received and responded to so many emails, a lot of great questions and comments. From your feedback, we've learned that many of our viewers are miners with different levels of experience, from basic to very advanced. To make our videos more complete and useful to everyone regardless of your skill level or experience, I found I was repeating many of the same topics over and over, like what is a stratum server? Well, how do I communicate with my mining pool to see what are my mining results, whether it be in a mining pool like ETHERMINE or even Nicehash. So this video marks the beginning of our new T-Rex Miner tutorial. It's part one in a planned series of videos that we will be covering T-Rex Miner in depth. My goal in this first T-Rex tutorial video is to cover the T-Rex Miner fundamentals and overclocking to make sure all our viewers have the necessary skills to use the T-Rex Miner comfortably on a pooling server or a Nicehash. Then we can all move on to the T-Rex built-in overclocking features. With these fundamentals and overclocking skills mastered, we can begin to quickly cover more advanced topics like LHR tuning, auto tuning, dual mining, and even more. So we will be covering fundamentals and overclocking in today's video, how to install and configure the latest T-Rex Miner on Windows, and I'm going to walk you through step by step how to download, install it, and set up the latest T-Rex Miner to run on Windows, and point it to a mining pool like EtherMine, or even use it in Nicehash. Then I'm going to begin covering T-Rex built-in overclocking, standard and locked core clock technology in full hash rate and light hash rate cards. And I'm even going to go on to show you how I split them up and individually configure them in a multi-GPU. We have divided this video into chapters for your convenience, and we encourage you to watch the entire video. But more advanced users may want to skip ahead to the overclocking section, so you'll be able to select the chapter down below on the index. This is a very exciting time to be a crypto mining, with GPU hunting, LHR cards, miner updates, political news, crypto prices. We're doing our best to keep up and learn, share and enrich our community, our channel, and we really appreciate your support. So please click on that subscribe button below if you haven't already, and let's kick off this video in our part one of the T-Rex Miner tutorial. Let's get started. Let's go to the T-Rex page on GitHub. We see T-Rex current version, latest, is 0.24.7. And this version has some bug fixes, mainly for the command line parameters and the UI, more so based on the features that we've seen in 24.6, which is definite significant improvements with LHR technology. I want these bug fixes, I want to have the latest, so I'm going to go to 24.7, scroll down to assets, and I see T-Rex 0.24.7-win.zip. Click it to begin downloading it to my download folder. See, I have my zip file right now. At this point too, be aware you may start receiving notifications from your Windows Defender or antivirus software saying it detects potentially malicious software. Right click it, select extract all, use the default folder it shows me. That's it. I have T-Rex downloaded and I have it extracted into its own folder. First thing I'm going to want to do is open up the folder, and I want to make sure that t-rex.exe file is still there. If it's not there, then odds are your antivirus software deleted it or quarantined it, and you may have to download and put an exception in again for it. And then beneath that, you see a lot of batch files, mostly CFX nanopool. That's Conflux on nanopool, Ergo on 2 miners. So this is mining a certain coin on a certain mining pool. And these are great because these are templates for us. These are sample batch files that we can use to run and mine a certain coin. All the revenue goes into their wallet, but at least it gives us a template of how we can use their miners as a template to just customize and put our mining pool or our wallet into it to meet our needs. Looking through here, you see this stuff for Conflux, Ergo, Ethereum on different pools. You also see stuff even Veil, Cero, Raven, and you see a few here. LHR unlocked dual is Ethereum and Conflux, Ethereum and Ergo, Ethereum and Firo, which I believe is new, and now Ethereum and Raven. Dual coin mining, if you're not familiar with, the idea is that since we're not able to get the full hash rate out of LHR cards yet, although we're getting pretty close, the idea is that they mine 2 coins at the same time. So on one graphic card, they'll mine a coin like Ethereum and Ergo. The way the algorithm works right now, unfortunately, they put the majority of the power on Ergo and they mine a little bit of Ethereum in between, or they'll mine a lot of Conflux and they'll do a little bit of Ethereum. It's a great topic. There's a lot of potential, especially for your 12 gigabyte cards. If you're interested in doing dual mining, we actually covered this in 2 videos on using unlock LHR Nicehash T-Rex dual mining, and that's for Ethereum, Ergo, and Ethereum and Conflux. And then we did another one for Ethereum and Ravencoin. Although these were originally targeted at Nicehash, it's very, very simple to just redirect the wallet and the mining pool you're using, and there's a wealth of information in there. So if you're interested in dual coin mining, these are definitely 2 great resources. Come to our channel and just look at those videos. Back to T-Rex. I'm going to look for ETHERMINE. I'm going to right click their file. I'm going to copy it. I'm just going to paste it right back. And I'm going to rename the new file we put there -CMI. Crypto Mining Insider. And that's the batch file that I'm going to be using. We're going to be updating it throughout this video, and you'll see how we apply different command parameters to control everything from the mining pool, the wallet, and even set our overclocks. Let's edit the batch file that we just cloned from them. I'm going to right click and I'm going to click edit. I'm not going to click open because that'll be running the file. Wow, it's a simple 1-line statement. I know it may look complex if you're not used to it, but just a pause after it. But let me break it down and make it really simple. T-rex.exe, that's just the name of the miner that we downloaded, and then -A stands for algorithm. We're going to be mining Ethereum, and they call it ETHAsh. There's just 2 values we're going to have to worry about updating in this file, and that's the pooling server as well as the wallet. -O is the name of a STRATUM server. What is a STRATUM server? It's a server that runs a pooling protocol, and it enables our miner to speak or to talk in the same language to the mining pool. So our miner starts up and it will communicate with the STRATUM server, and the STRATUM server will set the necessary commands that it wants it to mine or look in certain areas for coins, etc. Our miner accepts shares and does its work. It sends the results back to the pooling server, and that's all done using a pooling protocol provided via the STRATUM server. Last item is going to be the wallet. I just need a wallet that can receive the coin that I'm going to be mining. So in this case, I'm going to be mining directly on a pool, and I'm going to be receiving Ethereum back. So I just have to make sure that I replace this value with my own value for a wallet that can be receiving Ethereum. I already know I want to point to ethermine.org. The only thing is I see it's pointing to EU1, and I believe that's Europe. Let me open up the ETHERMINE website, and I'm going to click on Start Mining. It's going to show me a list of their servers. I'm going to be putting a link down to this website below for your convenience, and it's showing me Asia, EU1 is Europe, and then USA East. That's where I am. You're going to want to pick the server closest to you because you want the fastest, the quickest network speed between you and that server, or else you get stale shares if it's too far. The only other item I want to mark is the Stratum port is 4444. So I just need this address, which I copied. So let me go back to this Stratum address here, and I'm just going to modify it, us1ethermine.org, and I see it's already 4444. That's great. I can save this. We're halfway done right now. Next part is even easier. I highlight their wallet that they put in because I'm sure they would love for you to mine and send them coin, but we want to make money for ourselves. I have one of my wallets from Coinbase wallets. Wallets is a whole nother topic. I'm not saying you should be using and mining everything into Coinbase wallet. That's what I'm doing for today. Put in that wallet address. I see these last 2 parameters here is -P stands for password, that's normally X, and -W stands for worker. So this is just called rig0. So that's it. Let's just save this and we're all set. We can close it. Now that our batch file is all set, the only item left for me to do is apply some basic overclockings. Off camera, I already did some basic overclocks for these cards. I have an RTX 3080 and an RTX 3070, and they're full hash cards, and I've chose full hash cards on purpose, so we'll be able to go through this material quicker without having to worry about LHR locks. Let me just apply my basic overclocking. You're going to hear the fans come up on the 3080 as soon as I click this one. Now I'm just going to click into my batch file. Miner is going to start. Always look at the very top. Make sure you're running the latest versions. I have T-Rex NVIDIA GPU Miner version 0.24.7. So that's really, really important. You always want to make sure you're running the correct version of the miner in case you have a previous version installed in the path and it's picking that up earlier. I can also see both of my graphic cards have a plus and they're enabled. My 3080 and my 3070 graphic card are currently mining. Please keep in mind that I'm recording on the same computer that I'm running these graphic cards and mining on. So I'm going to have a lower hash rate just because I have a camera and a microphone and it's trying to record at the same time. This is just kind of to show the proof of concept. I see partial status message coming in that I'm at 123.2 mega hash, which is still low for both cards, but there we go. My 3080 is making 76.63 mega hash and my 3070 is doing 46.72. So at this point, I am successfully mining Ethereum on the ETHERMINE pool, and I'm directing the profits back to my own wallet. If you can copy these steps, you'll be successfully mining Ethereum on an Ethereum pool back into your own wallet. Congratulations. And now is where the fun starts. Let me close up this miner, and we're going to start looking at how we can make additional configurations within this batch file we've created to make it even do more work than we've already seen. So we just successfully started mining Ethereum on EtherMine into our own wallet. But that's just the first step. That's just the baby step we're going to be taking, because we're going to be covering a lot of topics today. I'm going to go back to my batch file and I'm going to edit this same file. We're going to have to put a lot more command lines in here. The problem is that we're not going to have enough space. To make things simple, I'm going to actually put in 2 variables up top. And these are just standard Windows variables. I'm going to be putting a copy of my batch template below in the description for you to follow along, because I have this big long value here for Stratum. Let me copy it. And I have this big long value here for my wallet. I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to be assigning 2 Windows variables for Stratum and wallet. And this way, them in my code, %Stratum. And for my wallet, I'm just going to say %wallet. That's it. Now we'll have at least a lot more space on the screen to see what we're doing. Let me just save this. Format, word wrap. Okay, in case it gets too long. One of the advantages of having a pause statement though at the very end is that when the miner stops, let's say if you had some incorrect value, you don't want it to just flash and just close. At least you'll see the mining results or what the problem was before it closes down. So it's always good to have a pause statement before you're closing the miner. This same statement here is exactly what I just ran earlier. The only difference is I substituted the values for the Stratum and the wallet with variables, and these variables are pointing to the same Stratum and wallet that I was just using earlier. Let me just run this, and you're going to see the miner is going to open my graphic cards, same Stratum, same user. It's going to do the same result. So we just really wanted to make a little bit more space and organize our batch file a little bit friendlier, because as we start adding a lot of parameters here. I've let this miner run for the past 30 minutes, and I see both cards seem to be mining okay. The hash rate is lower. Once again, that's because I'm recording on this computer and I have webcam and a mic on it. Otherwise, it would be higher. I just want to demonstrate what it's like to set up and mine and how we can look into the mining pool. If I want to take a look at how does this look now in EtherMine, I'm going to copy my wallet address. And I'm going to open up ethermine.org, and in the mining address spot, I'm going to paste my wallet address in there. It's going to show me all the indicatives it knows about the miner. Rig 0, it's 127.1 mega hash, current hash rate, valid shares, stale shares, invalid shares, and less than 7 minutes ago. So I think over time it calibrates and it seems to put more workload onto the miner. So I expect this hash rate to come up higher as more time passes. I reorganized the screen layout slightly to make it easier to see and follow along, because I'm going to be passing in a lot of different commands to the T-Rex miner throughout this video, and I wanted an easy and consistent place where you could see what I'm doing step by step. Before we go any further, I just want to take a brief moment and talk about the Stratum and the wallet. The Stratum, if you're currently mining using Windows or Hive OS, and if you're doing direct pool mining, you're already familiar with what your pooling server is, or what is known as your Stratum server, and your wallet is normally the wallet you'd be receiving that specific coin. And whether you're mining on Nicehash or you're mining directly into a pool, I assume you'd be familiar with what your wallet would be. I want to take a brief moment just to talk about Nicehash. Earlier in the year, Nicehash had temporarily disabled the T-Rex plugin from Nicehash, and there's a lot of Nicehash users, including myself, who were not happy about that. T-Rex seemed to have reestablished themselves back with GitHub page. Nicehash, once again, they're very slow to respond to this. We're limited to only using the miners that are built into Nicehash if we rely on using the Nicehash tool. But a lot of people may not realize that Nicehash is really a hash power broker. They really kind of work as like a remote control, in the sense that the same way we just showed you that we could start up a miner, configure it to point to a Stratum and a wallet, they're doing the same thing behind the scenes. They're using a config file file to do it, but they're ultimately doing the same thing. And we can just as easily do that. Just because we don't have the remote control to turn on the TV, we can still go to the TV and turn it on if we find the right buttons. And that's what we're going to be doing right now. I'm going to show you how to get the Stratum server from Nicehash and point it to your Nicehash wallet. So if you're a Nicehash user, you'll be able to use the T-Rex miner. So let's go to the Nicehash. They have an actual Stratum generator there because they support multiple coins, not just one. You can mine Raven or Conflux. Sometimes I send some of my dual coin mining into there from the list. I want to scroll down until I see Dagger Hashimoto, because that is the official algorithm name for Ethereum. And then I want to find my closest address. So it's USA East generate address. I have my Stratum address right here. So I can just go up to my top line here where I defined this Stratum earlier. And after Stratum equals, let me delete that. And I'm just going to replace that with Stratum for Nicehash. All I have left to do is go to my Nicehash account. I can easily just click on mining address. I get my wallet, come into the wallet variable, go wallet equals, and then I paste my Nicehash wallet. If I save this, we should be all set. The final point I want to make on modifying this file for Nicehash is that Nicehash won't recognize and won't use the worker number, so this rig0. So what I'm going to do is at the very end of my wallet address, I'm going to put a dot rig, I'm going to call this TREX, rig T-Rex. That makes sense. And this way I can identify that in Nicehash. Otherwise, it's just going to be known as default. And if you have multiple, you won't be able to tell one from the other. So that's just a way for me to name it, putting a dot name at the end of the wallet, like I'm doing dot rig T-Rex. And this way, when I look inside of Nicehash monitoring, I'm going to see rig T-Rex there, and I can easily track it and see all the statistics and how well it's mining. Let me save this. I'm going to start running the file. Open it up. Again, I see version 24.7. I always want to confirm that. I see I'm pointing to the Nicehash Stratum, USA East Nicehash, and I should be pointing to my Nicehash wallet with rig T-Rex as the name. I see the DAGs are being generated for both GPU 0 and GPU 1. We're going to let this start hashing, and we're going to come back in a little bit to see some of our mining results. I've let this mine for about 12 minutes so far. You'll see my hash rates here are lower than they would normally be, and that's because I'm recording on this computer. I have a microphone and a webcam plugged in, and we are mining in Nicehash right now. So that is right, I am using the T-Rex miner and I am mining in Nicehash. Now let's go to Nicehash and see how that looks. I called rig T-Rex and it's unmanaged, and that's because we're managing it manually. But within here, I can click it. It shows 914 a day. It'll start giving you hash rates over time, just as if it was native within Nicehash. I can see that it's grabbing hash rate, Dagger Hashimoto. It's not fully calibrated yet, but it's showing me about 71 mega hash, which is much lower than it is. You'll see this ramp up over time, and you'll see it usually come in line with the miner as well as what you're seeing in Nicehash. And in history and stats, I see rig T-Rex, Dagger Hashimoto, and it's showing me, look, 127.69 mega hash is the accepted speed, 0 rejected, and it gives me some profitability estimates. This is how you can seamlessly use the T-Rex miner to mine direct in Nicehash, and you'll still be able to see all your statistics and get paid in Bitcoin as you normally would. Now that we've successfully created a T-Rex miner that can mine against a mining pool like EtherMine or even Nicehash, we're ready to move on into configuring the miner. I have my batch file. I'm just going to drag it out. I'm going to create a shortcut for it so we have some space on the screen. I have 2 graphic cards in this computer to simulate a multi-card rig or a multi-card PC. I have a RTX 3070 and I have a RTX 3080. Oftentimes when I'm running a miner, or even if I want to do some benchmarking, I'll want to split them up. And that brings us to our first parameter. So device is a way I can tell the miner-d that I only want to use one of the cards. Maybe I want to use multiple, and I could put 1, 2, 3. The device ID start at 0 and they go 0, 1, 2, 3. You can easily isolate one graphic card just using the device parameter. I'll save this, and when I start up the miner, you're going to see that the 3080 is now grayed out. It's not included in our mining results. Only the 3070 with a plus before it is highlighted, and that's going to be the active card that we're going to be mining with. Typically, when I want to overclock a graphic card, I'll use tools like MSI Afterburner. I'm going to select the graphic card I want to change, and I'm already selected on the RTX 3070 because that's the one I'm going to be using for my demonstration. And I'm going to apply a 52% power limit, -400 is my core clock adjustment, plus 1100 is my memory clock. I want to specify a fan too. Maybe I want to run it at a constant value of 65. I save that, and that would be my standard overclocking, and that's normally how I would do it. But wouldn't it be great if I could just push that right in the miner? That's one of the things that's great about T-Rex. See, if I want to apply those same overclocks in T-Rex directly, I would just put --PL for power limit, space 52. For the core clock adjustment, there's --CCLOCK, space -400. For the memory overclock, I'm going to put --MCLOCK, space 1100. Also off fan, --fan 65. So let me save this and let's start the miner. Starting up the miner with the RTX 3070 is the only graphic card selected. And it starts up and I see a bunch of warnings in yellow. Make sure you're running the miner with admin privileges. And that's because I'm trying to pass in overclocking. So I just have to right click on the batch file, go down to run as admin. Warning comes up and I click yes, and now it's going to be running the miner using the overclocking. At the bottom of the screen I see GPU 1, intensity 22, fan 65%, memory clock 1100, core clock is -400, and the power limit is 52%. So that's exactly what we passed in from the T-Rex on the command line. Now when I go to MSI, MSI will show accurate numbers in the charts on top, but none of the numbers within MSI will be updated yet. And these are the same values: the power limit 52, core clock -400, memory clock 1100, fan 65 that I passed in when I started the miner. I've let this run for about 6.5 minutes and I'm seeing consistent results. I'm seeing about 60.68 megahash. My core temperature on the GPU is 43 at 114 watts. Wow. Fan 65 and a 537 is my efficiency. That's a really great efficiency number for a 3070 card. Not as high as the 6600 AMD card, but a really great number. So let me close this miner and go on to the next. It's really great to be able to specify the overclock settings right in the command line, which brings me to the locked core clock. See, typically when I'm doing overclock, I would specify a power limit and I would do a core clock offset, and that together kind of moved GPU core speed to about where I wanted. And one of the nice things is that rather than me specifying a power limit and core clock, if I already know where I want the core to be, I can just specify --lock --CCLOCK and a value. So what's the value I want to lock this core clock to? I did some research on the internet, found some values listed that people have been using. They are listed from full hash rate cards from 2080s all the way up to 3090s. We're using an RTX 3070 full hash card saying 885 to 1150. So maybe a good number to start would be in the middle. Let's pick 1000. Come to my lock core clock here and just do 1000. Before I start up the miner, I want to go to MSI Afterburner and I want to reset the overclocks that were previously applied from our mining session. Let me right click, start up the miner, run as administrator, and yes, I approve. And the miner is going to start. We're going to be mining now with the locked core clock technology that's built into T-Rex. I have an fan of 65, a memory clock of 1100, and a core clock is locked at 1000 megahertz. But MSI is showing it's at 1005 megahertz because it's specific intervals for the core clock lock on NVIDIA cards. I've let this mine for a little bit and I have 60.05 megahash consistent. But the best part is I'm having an efficiency of 572. That's incredible. That's more efficient than my AMD 6600 XT was getting. When I look at the power meter at the wall, I'm seeing about 125 watts. Subtract the breakout board and I'm getting about 116. That is incredible. So not only am I getting a better and more consistent hash rate, but I'm getting a better improvement in efficiency at a lower wattage. We've just demonstrated that the locked core clock technology that's built into the T-Rex miner gave us a higher hash rate and an improved efficiency. But we've only been testing it on one card so far. My computer has 2 graphic cards in it, and I'm going to go back to this -D parameter for the device, and I'm going to erase that. So now we're going to be including both graphic cards in our test results. If I don't specify more than one value, it's going to apply all these values to all the cards. So if I start up, let me save this. And if I run the miner, yes, I want to confirm this. Miner is going to open, but it's going to apply these same overclocks to both cards. And that would be fine if I had the same graphic card in there, if I had, say, 2 3070s. That's not the case. I have a 3080 and a 3070. Let me close up this miner. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to specify multiple values for these. In the case that I know my 3080 is the first one. Let me look back at my reference. I see 3080 range is 1010 to 1060 megahertz. So let's try 1040. So I'm gonna go 1040, comma, and for my memory, I actually want to go a little bit lighter because it's a 3080 and I'm recording on it. And for my fan, I'm going to choose 80. Now I'm going to start this up. You're going to see the values here. So for GPU 0, it's giving me a fan of 80, a memory clock, offset of plus 800 megahertz. Locked core clock is 1040. For the GPU 1, which is the 3070, I have a fan of 65, a memory clock offset of 1100, and a core clock is locked at 1000 megahertz. I've been mining for a little while and I'm seeing 86 to 87 megahash on my 3080 and I'm getting 60 megahash on my 3070 in great efficiency. And it's all thanks to being able to pass in those overclock and locked core clock parameters right on the command line. Having that ability is really a time saver, but especially being able to specify the locked core clock so easily, that's definitely a big win in my opinion. I've just restarted my computer, except I've changed the RTX 3070 full hash rate card for an RTX 3080 Ti light hash rate card, because Trexminer has built-in LHR unlock technology. I've also updated the batch file to have the correct locked core clock and memory clock, as well as fan settings for the RTX 3080 Ti card. This card is a light hash rate card. So now we actually have a mixed computer that has a full hash rate card as well as a light hash rate card. I can specify my LHR value in the command parameter very easily just by putting --LHR -tune. Now my first card is a full hash rate card, so I'm going to specify 0. Second card is a light hash rate card, so I'm going to put in my LHR value. I want to start with a value of 74.5. I save this and let's start up the miner. When the T-Rex miner starts, we're going to see GPU 0, which is the full hash rate card. It's just going to be showing me the overclock settings that I've applied in the command line. However, GPU 1, which is the 3080 Ti's light hash rate card, it shows my initial seed value of 74.5 that I'm using for the LHR value, as well as it's going to be giving me the overclocks that I've applied in the offset. So that's all there is to it. This is how you are able to start up and configure a rig that even has multiple cards in it. One is a full hash rate card and one is a light hash rate card. You would just be specifying the LHR tune parameters with a 0 for full hash rate cards and the desired LHR value for the light hash rate card. I've really enjoyed making this video. I hope you've enjoyed it and it improves your skills. If you have, please give me a big thumbs up, like, smash down on that subscribe button if you haven't already. Please put all your questions and comments below. Until next time, we'll see you in the next video. Happy mining!